Hi, I'm Ava, and I'll be presenting research conducted alongside Lev and Sean at Microsoft Research Cambridge. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule to watch this presentation. Like many others, that schedule may be full of multiple meetings a day. Meetings have long been the predominant way of collaborating with others. During the pandemic, they became even more essential. As a result, meetings are often used as a container for all and any types of work. When attending a meeting, have you ever asked yourself, why are we here? Perhaps turning off your camera and multitasking? We all do it. Attending meetings all day, every day, many workers complain that their meetings are inefficient and lack purpose. As a result, meetings have become a key obstacle to productivity in the workplace. Our research was motivated by the opportunity to design systems which better support people in articulating and achieving their meeting goals, leading to fewer, better meetings for all. Psychological research has shown that setting goals increases people's performance in many different areas. Making a goal explicit often leads to an elevation in people's motivation to achieve their goal, as well as increasing their attention and persistence and their acquisition of relevant skills and knowledge. So why don't we set goals all the time? Well, being intentional isn't always easy or intuitive. It requires time and effort to translate implicit goals into explicit goals, and then to justify these goals. Intentionality demands people to pause their fast, automatic thinking and to take up slower, more reflective consideration. Once a goal has been set, further investment is required to articulate a plan of action to achieve that goal. In collaborative settings, there may also be a lack of consensus on which goals to pursue and how to achieve them. Despite these challenges, current meeting interfaces do not support users' intentionality at any point in the meeting lifecycle. Across Microsoft Office, Zoom, and Google Meet, goals are absent from the calendar scheduling tool and in the video conferencing interface. How could a system conceptualize meeting goals to best support workers and their work in all its diversity? Does the term meeting goal even mean the same thing for everyone? There are innumerable types of meeting goals which depend on the work at hand, but are there also different ways of conceptualizing the term goal itself? What does it mean to have a goal for a meeting? And should all meetings have a goal? Here we see four people with quite different intentions for the meeting: to catch up, to achieve outcomes, to stay in the loop, or merely to get through an agenda. We set out to better understand people's mental models of their meeting goals, agendas, and outcomes. To do this, we conducted 21 semi-structured interviews with Microsoft employees. They worked across a range of areas, including sales, product development, and administration. While some were managers, others were not. During the interviews, the participants reflected on their one-off and recurring meetings, and those that they organized and those they attended. We conducted a semantic thematic analysis to make sense of this data, which I will present in 4 parts. First, I will describe 2 alternative mental models of meeting goals, then suggest how these models have implications for meeting effectiveness. I will then demonstrate the common obstacles to considering meeting goals and suggest how interface design could better support meeting goals. Drawing on our interviews, we found that the purpose of meetings can be conceptualized in 2 predominant ways. Sometimes meetings are seen as a means to an end. In this model, meetings are intended to achieve a measurable outcome, such as landing on a solution to a problem. In other cases, the overall goal may not be achieved in one meeting, but each meeting should facilitate progress towards the goal. In both cases, the point of the meeting is justified by work outside the meeting. However, at other times, meetings were seen as an end in themselves. In this model, just holding a meeting, or regular meetings, is sufficient for achieving a goal. For example, many of our interviewees saw meetings as the obvious way to maintain relationships between colleagues and to maintain momentum across a long-term project. Meeting with others is the goal here. Other people blocked time by booking meetings, without necessarily specifying the purpose of that time. Sometimes just having a discussion was enough to justify the meeting in the eyes of the organizer. These mental models are not mutually exclusive and are often held implicitly. But the clash and conflict between different meeting models can have implications for meeting effectiveness. In the paper, we identify both functional and affective implications of these mental models. An implication was often confounded with a counter-implication, as the participants strategically navigated the expectations of others. For example, some participants said they needed to see a goal to decide whether to attend a meeting or not. If the goal was irrelevant to them, they would not attend. Concerned about meeting cancellation due to misaligned goals, meeting organisers sometimes resorted to setting very vague meeting goals. While this obscures meeting purpose, it can also encourage attendance. Let's dive into another example. A participant in sales described the problem of over-identifying goals. If a meeting's goals are too easy to achieve, the meeting may be cut short, and the sales team loses precious time with a very busy client. While the customer service agent here sees the meeting as a means to an end, to just get through the agenda, the sales agent sees the meeting as an end in itself, to spend time with the client. The client themselves may be able to see both sides. They do not want to waste time, but also they want to get the most value out of the customer service they're paying for. In another case, a participant in customer service described a recurring problem-solving meeting with a client. This client often brings a highly specific technical problem to solve in these meetings, but does not communicate these problems to the participant ahead of time. As a result, the participant does not have the necessary information to hand, causing the client to feel that their time has been wasted. However, the participant feels unable to ask the client to communicate their goals ahead of the meeting, due to the unequal relationship between a client and a provider. Unequal relationships were just one of many obstacles to considering and communicating meeting goals. Other obstacles included time, the number of attendees, differing personalities, a desire for flexibility, and technological issues. Let's take another example. One participant often ran meetings between members of senior management and described the difficulty in setting and achieving goals. They suggested that there was a fear of accountability in this team, which could be hard to tame. Simultaneously, these team members often experienced a high level of urgency to their work, and this led to meetings being sidetracked by immediate problems. Hence, intentionality could be obstructed. Modern workflows are made up from ongoing collaboration across emails, documents, chats, and task managers. It is a huge challenge to bring together and integrate these different information sources to inform the goal of a single meeting. Hence, collaborative technologies can actually fragment intentionality and do not offer much support in piecing it back together again. These obstacles make it challenging for intentionality to travel across the meeting lifecycle, from scheduling a meeting to delegating follow-up actions. But the first challenge is to get people to actually articulate their meeting goals, converting their implicit intentions into explicit purpose. We asked our participants to consider the idea of a dedicated field for meeting goals. They thought it could help them articulate and remember their own goals, as well as understand those of others. Other people were concerned that such a field may not be used consistently, or even worse, that it could be used haphazardly. They suggested that such a field would have to be very easy to update in the face of changing priorities. These concerns speak to the complexity of designing to support intentionality. Meeting goals are intimidatingly diverse, often rapidly changing, and are embedded in a fabric of social expectations and norms. Furthermore, the information needed to comprehend a meeting's purpose is often distributed across multiple digital locations. Hence, it is difficult for a user to think about their specific goals, and it is very challenging to build a one-size-fits-all solution with traditional interface design methods. Developments in artificial intelligence could help designers to create proactive interfaces which adapt to specific work contexts of individual users. By integrating information from multiple sources, such as emails, meeting invitations, and documents, generative AI can build a contextual understanding of a person's upcoming meetings. It can then generate content which is adapted specifically to this context and the needs of particular attendees. Deployed carefully, generative AI could proactively prompt users to reflect on their meeting goals. Our upcoming research will be investigating this design space where generative AI can catalyze intentionality, hopefully leading to people having fewer, better meetings. And who can argue with that?